Is brought to you in part by Wells Fargo Bank. Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. And more recently, the producer of Show Her the Money. Everybody knows we just produced a movie. It's about the underfunding of women in the venture capital world and how we can change it. And in fact, it's about, well, what is venture capital and why is it so important to us as women and in the future of our planet? So anyway, be sure to check us out at showherthemoneymovie.com. Today, as every week, I have on a super special woman. She is amazing. We're going to talk all about her new project, which is a TV channel for women, about women in their prime. How about that, ladies? We need this, don't we? Please welcome to the show, Dorthy Miller Shore. Hi, Dorthy. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Catherine.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about this today. You know, having television in my background as well, same as you, advertising. I'm so excited to have a network for women like 50 plus. We need this. It's an overlooked market, especially in television and movies. And just so excited to talk to you about it today.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's 63 million women in the U.S. over 50.
Oh my gosh, that's like a sixth of the people, right?
It's a lot, 20% of the population, but we are only 8% of the actors on TV. 8%.
And even when you look at the actors, look at the Gina Davis Institute, the research they've done. Those women actors in the past have tended not to be the leads. You know, they tend to be the girlfriend or the affair or, you know, nothing significant. In fact, I'm so excited that Sharon Gless is part of our film, Show Her the Money, because her and Tyne Daly with Cagney and Lacey years ago were the first women ever to be cast as the female leads in a drama series. So before that, it was unheard of for a woman to even be a lead in a television program. And now you're going to make a network that's all about women in their prime. We have money to spend. We're the financial decision makers of what gets bought. Why not target this market that it's been so overlooked by Hollywood? It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. And, you know, advertisers are coming out of the woodwork because we do have the online publication, primewomen.com, and we've let them know that we're launching this network, and they're reaching out from as far away as Israel. There's a pharmaceutical company there that got in touch with us that's launching some sort of a supplement here in the U.S. So we know the advertising is going to be there right from the get-go.
From the get-go. And, you know, women's health overall has been overlooked. So I'm glad to hear about that. In our movie, we have a group called Emmeline Ventures that focuses on women's health because it's been so overlooked in the investment community and the venture capital community. You know, we're more than 50% of the population. Our health matters and nobody's been addressing it, especially because it's mostly male investors in venture. They don't know anything or care anything about women's health. So it's so important that you're putting a spotlight on this. And I want to talk about your background because, you know, people are like, who's this woman who's going to start this network? And you have such an incredible background. I want to first share that with everybody before we even talk more about the network. So you had your own ad agency, the Miller advertising agency that specialized in the automotive industry, which is really unusual for a woman. You were top in the country. the largest owned woman agency in the US. So you and this was out of Kentucky. So
Yes. Yeah.
you know, that's pretty incredible that you had that kind of accomplishment. So you're coming to the table with a lot of knowledge and a lot of success in advertising, which of course is going to be essential to
Yes.
the success of a network.
Yes. And let me clarify that's retail automotive. I was the largest woman-owned business. So it was very critical
Just
that
so you know, as a woman, of course, you're going to clarify that. A man would not, but that's okay.
no, no, I know they wouldn't, but I do. So if you'll excuse me just a second, somehow I've got a call that keeps coming through and I don't know how it is. I've got my phone turned off. Sorry. Anyway, but yes, men wouldn't clarify that, but women, we want it absolutely right. So yes, I started back in Kentucky, and it was one of those where I felt that, I had to get into business on my own if I wanted to make a decent living. I was a divorced mother of a 4-year-old. And so I wanted to make more money. So it happened, it's very serendipity how I got into it. But I found it to be a very, very lucrative career. And while automotive dealers particularly don't have the best reputation, I'm telling you, they're some of the finest people in the world. So I really enjoyed that career. We became very successful. By the way, the agency still exists. My daughter and son-in-law took it over. We turned 40 this April.
Wow,
Yes,
that's
40
great.
years old. Yeah.
Oh my God, you started this when you were 10?
Yes, exactly. It's amazing how you can get in business so early.
You know, you and I had talked about when we met, I too have a background in advertising and was very successful in cable television advertising because I focused on the same niche you did, which is automotive. And it was a very lucrative niche. And so I could see why you focused on that. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. So that's something that we have in common. And I do think that all of your success in advertising is going to help you so much with the launch of this network, because network success really depends on advertising, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we know who our target audience is, and we know who the advertisers are trying to reach that target audience. It's because of the primewomen.com, which we've had for a number of years. So we know who has success, and in the health area, which is that you brought up, is our biggest success, because not only do we have advertisers wanting us to showcase their products, but women our age are more interested in health than they ever were. It really starts with menopause. People ask me, well, why over 50? Because 51 is the average age when women start through menopause. And at that point, your life changes in many ways.
Yeah. And
Some good,
such an
some not
overlooked
so good.
market, right? It's such an
Yes.
overlooked market. Like everybody kind of just dismisses women after they're 50 or 60.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
yesterday, I'm having a conversation with these young women about a survey that we're doing. And it said, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And then it says like 65 plus. And I go, wait a minute. You can't just lump us all into 65 plus. I saw an ad the other day of these two really old women, and it was in the category 65 plus. I'm like, no, this is not who we are today. Women in their 60s and their 70s and all are thriving and looking young, acting young, and we shouldn't be thrown in that category of 65 to 100. This is ridiculous. So this market, as you and I know, women are coming into trillions of dollars in the coming decade from inheritance. It's going to be women in their 50s and 60s and 70s for the most part that are the beneficiaries of that. And so they're the ones we need to have programming for, advertising for. In my case, with our movie, we are encouraging those women to invest in venture capital. And I know also too, I want to mention, I mean, we can't solicit, but you are fundraising for your network. And this is something that's important that people get behind ventures like this that are women focused and also not leaving women behind that are 50 plus. So I just love the endeavor. I think it's genius.
Good, thank you. We do too. And we think there's a whole world out there waiting for this. They've been wanting it forever. It's not just the health, it's many things. Dating at this age now has become, really something for many women, because, you have a lot of women who divorce. Gray divorce is very real. Women start getting divorced after 50, after 60, 70. You have widows who are having to get back into the dating world. And, it's a really tough venture out there for those women. And, they want stories. They want to hear about other women. And even women that are married, they love hearing these stories about these women and what's going on in their lives. And, the success of The Golden Bachelor was no surprise to us, but it seemed to be a surprise to everyone else that, that women were still vibrant and wanted to date and et cetera, and that there were men out there. And that show was a tremendous success, and not just in our age group, but the young people watched it as well. So it's a great story, because they're going, wait a minute, I didn't realize that older women were that vibrant and alive and interesting. And so it's great, and it's going to be a good education for all of us to see
the women
women
over 50 are the most interesting. They've lived a full life. They've done wonderful things. I know I meet them every day in the venture world. They're investors. They're creators of new products. They're amazing. And I just can't believe Hollywood has left that sector of women. They couldn't believe that Barbie did $1 billion, that Taylor Swift is doing $1 billion, Beyonce. They don't understand how hungry women are for programming that speaks to us of all ages and all ethnicities. And I love that you're going to talk about everything from fashion to wellness, relationships, and money. Of course, money, I think, is such a thing that has been taboo for women in the past. We talk about that in our film. Back in the day, women couldn't even get a credit card without a man signing, and they never talked about money. Now, women are talking about money. They're realizing that we've been left out of venture capital, that we want to understand what it is. We want to invest in it. We want to educate ourselves more. And so I think we're all gathering around together to help each other better understand the investment world, so that we are better prepared as women come into trillions of dollars in the coming decade, how to invest that money for our future wealth, for our children's generational wealth, for the world at large, that money goes into the right endeavors, saving the planet, creating women's health care, creating all the things that are going to save the planet, not ruin the planet, right? And
absolutely.
So I'm excited to hear about the programming. How are you going to garner the programming? That's a lot of programming for a network, right? And I know you already had a magazine in this space, now moving into the network television, still the same. I'm sure you're getting advertisers and all of that, but what about the programming? Tell us how you're going to program this.
Yes. So there is, first off, the networks, when they launch, never have all original programming, and neither will we. We're going to have about 20% originals and 80% acquired. Now, those acquired, the star of everything we acquire is a woman over 50. We will not be running anything where she's not the center of it. And there'll be shows that perhaps they haven't been seen in the US, or, haven't been seen anywhere else. So they'll primarily be new. Now, the new programming, you are right. That is quite an endeavor. I know nothing about that. That's why we had partnered with Rich Cronin, who has run all kinds of networks, Fox Family, Fox Kids Network, TV Land. I mean, he's got the chops, and he knows how to do it. So he's already lined up lots of producers, etc., to start working on all these shows and working on them right now.
And just make sure that he hires women producers, women directors, women writers. This is going to be a whole network that could support more women
exactly
in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yes. No, he's gotten that message loud and clear. Women, women, women. And in fact, Gina Davis's group is helping us identify some really outstanding directors and producers because of their film festival that they do every year. So no, we're lining up women, because if you want to produce something that women want to watch, you pretty much need women, writing and being involved in those, or they don't come off as what we want.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I'll watch something, I'll go, a man definitely wrote this. I don't care if it's a commercial or a show. I don't care if it's about women. You can tell. You can tell. I'm so glad that you're providing this new platform for more women in television and the movies to have these opportunities. It's so amazing. I just love this endeavor. What do you anticipate for distribution? Like, what is that going to look like?
Well, we expect full distribution on all cable and satellite. We've visited with every major distributor, so there's great interest. We'll get full distribution when we launch, or shortly thereafter. We will have full distribution, and what they want is, of course, as much original as we can possibly have, because they want new stuff out there. And everybody does. We're all anxious to see something new. Now, our shows will not be scripted. We'll be doing reality type shows, talk shows, game shows, but all of them will be aimed at what we know women over 50 are interested in hearing about. For example, one real issue for a lot of women out there is, gosh, am I developing dementia? Do I have Alzheimer's? Because they start, forgetting, things, and you can't remember. You're trying, oh, what was that? And so one of the games will be called Memorability, and it'll be testing their memory in the game show. But then we'll also have little information throughout it about, when you do need to see someone, what would that look like, etc. So it'll be entertaining, but it'll also be educational. And by the way, game shows are one of the most popular shows for women over 50. They're highly successful.
That is good to know. Yeah. Two questions. Documentaries?
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's great.
Oh, yes. Documentaries on outstanding women. And they can be outstanding in any area. And they may be women you never heard of. They're just women out there that are making a difference and, just going about their business and doing incredible things, but no one's ever put a showcase on them. So
I love that. Boy, there's a whole treasure trove of those.
Exactly.
What about, so there won't be any written, how come? Any
scripted, you reaching into a whole different area there. First off, it's very expensive to do scripted, and so it's not anything we'll step right into. But we intend to make this very entertaining. I mean, some of it is like reality, but on the other hand, we have a career therapy show, and we have a woman who's an expert, of course, in careers, and she advises these women who are having real issues on either sexism, ageism, both, and they're trying to get ahead, or maybe they're just trying to get back into the job market after years of raising children or whatever. So it's kind of an advice kind of thing. So we think they'll be just as entertaining, even though they're not scripted. So, but
and scripting could be something down the road, because you're going to get a ton of advertisers, and then you might have the budget to do that. And I imagine that there's some movies out there that are already made that could be a good fit, so I'm thinking that for you. And what type of advertisers, other than women's healthcare, do you think you'll be attracting? I mean, like we do eat, we do drive, we do
Yeah,
everything, and we impact 80% of the buying decisions. So
sure.
I imagine, there'll be a lot of
Oh, yeah.
different types of advertisers.
Well, pharmaceuticals will probably be number one. Automotive, of course, as you've already mentioned, because they're big advertisers. Let's face it. So that's one right off the top. But then also, fashion is. Women our age are still very interested in fashion, and they want clothing that fits their bodies and looks good on them. And designers are just finally getting to where they're discovering that women at our age, we may not want to show our arms quite as much as the younger. And so having cocktail dresses that aren't all sleeveless kind of thing. And that's just one example. Jeans that fit, a body that's a little thicker in the middle, that sort of thing. So I think there'll be a lot of advertisers in that world. Beauty, huge category, huge
I
category.
love that. And
Yeah.
is this going to be subscription based?
Well, yes, the television you'll have to either be with one of the satellite or one of the cable companies initially. Now, I will preface this by saying we will start as a linear 24-hour ad-supported linear television station, but we will morph into streaming or whatever distribution system comes out. We don't know what that may be. Everything keeps evolving, but we'll start with the cable satellite, and then we'll move into streaming or whatever else is out there.
Right. And like you said, most people over 50 still have that hard connection as opposed to being a cord cutter like the younger people. So it seems like
Yes.
a good place to launch it, knowing that you'll move into the other eventually.
Right.
Prime Women, what a great name. It's like so uplifting and gives gravitas to women over 50, I think. So I think it's a wonderful name. So people can find you at primewomen.com.
Correct. Yes, primewomen.com.
And that's
And
for both your magazine and for information on the upcoming network.
yes, there's a connection there to the network. We will be changing the name. As great as Prime Women is, we are evolving it into Primera. And
I read about that. That sounds great too.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons. First off, two words for the name of your channel is a little problematic when you're searching for something. It's difficult to do, but that's minor. We also didn't want any confusion with Amazon's Prime. While we have the trademark for Prime Women, absolutely, but when you start getting into video, which is definitely one of their big worlds, we didn't want confusion. We don't want anyone to think we're part of Amazon. So there was a little bit of that. But Primera kind of says the same thing. It's Prime era because we are in that era of our prime. So we think it'll work just as well or better, hopefully, because we want to eventually get into branding. We would like to start, licensing our own clothing, makeup, skincare, all of that kind of product. And at some point get into actually our own lines because there's a huge market out there. And again, just like the clothing doesn't work on us as we get older, neither does that skin cream. We need different types of cream, and there's lots of good products out there, but we feel like there's a lot of opportunity for branding with Primera. So we'll be doing
and I'm glad you're mentioning it because I have so many innovators that tune in, and you may very well be the person that could help you with creating those products. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes.
But right now, people could go to primewomen.com to find out more, to stay in touch, to sign up for updates.
Yes.
And also, Dorothy, I imagine they can follow you on LinkedIn.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look up Dorothy is spelled Dorthy for those
That
of
is
you
correct.
that are just listening in, it's Dorthy. You spell it differently than many, so I wanted to point that out. And it's Dorthy Shore, Dorothy Miller Shore, or Dorthy Shore.
Yeah.
You will find her. I know you grew up in Kentucky, you had your business in Kentucky, but you are now in Dallas. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, I've been in
Great.
Dallas now a number of years. So yeah,
Great.
Dallas,
And we
Texas.
are going to be showing Show Her the Money in Dallas. And then also at showherthemoneymovie.com is our website for the movie. I know we're teaming up with you to do a screening in Dallas. And then people can follow where we're going to be in their cities. So mentioning Kentucky, we are going to be in Louisville, Kentucky at the Speed Museum coming up this summer. So
Good.
no matter where anybody is in the world, we're going to be bringing the movie to you. We appreciate everybody tuning in to Invest in Her. You can find Dorthy Shore on the LinkedIn, as well as myself, Catherine Gray. Also, I'm on Instagram, Catherine Gray Invest in Her, but also you can follow Show Her the Money, as well as She Angel Investors. And you can visit my website, sheangelinvestors.com. All these sites provide resources for women looking for funding, founders looking for funding, women looking to invest. We're trying to educate women more on how they can invest in special opportunities, like the Prime Network for women in their prime over 50. These are wonderful opportunities to invest in other women, and it's investing in other women that is going to help make a difference to the future of our world, of what products and services out there. So I always like to encourage women to learn more about angel investing, more about venture capital, and how you can invest in other women, which can be very lucrative, as well as make an impact and leave your legacy, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And investing is one of those things that we're hoping to help women in a show on on Prime Women is financing. And, how do you make your finances work for you? And how do you create something for your future generations? Because women are way behind on that. We are way behind on it. And we don't invest like men do as much. So we need to learn how, so that we make our money grow and can help others.
Yeah, we can't keep it in cash and CDs, ladies. We've got to venture out and get behind projects like this one that are going to make a difference in the world. Dorthy, thank you so much for the work you're doing. It is brilliant. It's invaluable. It's exciting. And we are all going to be following Prime Women, primewomen.com, linking up with you on LinkedIn so we can go on this journey with you and help you build this network. Super excited about it.
Thank you, Catherine. It's been a pleasure being on your show, and we're really excited about what you're doing. Helps all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make it a great day. Thank you.